I hope I have sound. Do I have sound? No, I don't have sound. Do I have sound? No, I don't have sound yet. Yes, I do. I do. Awesome. Open this up. Hi, Marie. Give me just a moment. I'm actually, let me, I gotta get the link to my thing here. How you doing, Marie? Oh, you still fighting that? That's not good. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, so now that I had to send a link to this to my mom. She wanted to watch. I'll show that. I don't care. It's, I can imagine you do. Yeah, that sucks. So she's doing good, doing good. Um, it's kind of snowy, rainy, and kind of yucky out today. So sorry, I'm just kind of getting things ready. We had kind of a late day today and busy and stuff like that. So I didn't have any time to really prepare anything ahead of time. And I'm cooking dinner late, as it is anyway. So I'm just gonna kind of see if anybody's gonna come in the next few minutes, and then I'm gonna get started. But yeah, she's doing okay. And if my mom's in here, well, this looks kind of choppy. Hold on. This will help. That. Um, he's good. He's in there on his Xbox playing his video games, which I need to give him a reminder. I am live, so keep your voice down. Just let me know. Don't get excited. Thank you. Okay, sorry, I had to give him a reminder to kind of stay a little quiet. Gotta get my coffee made. Um, if my mother's in here, her name is Cindy. If you want to be able to chat, you kind of have to create a little channel. You don't have to ever put anything on your channel or anything, but it just allows you the opportunity to be able to uh, talk and stuff in the chat. If you can barely hear me, I know she sent me a message on Messenger. Um, turn up your volume on your phone. My volume is clear and everything like that. I have little meters that I can see. So can you hear me okay, Marie? Okay, awesome. So tonight I'm making homemade Salisbury steak. It's going to have a mushroom gravy, and then for our side we're going to have asparagus and no sound. Marie said she can hear me just fine. And my meters are up. And my meters are up. See, I got sound here. Yeah. Allie, how you doing? Everybody knows my routine. I've done this for as long as I've been doing my cooking chats and my cooking live streams. Coffee, sit and chat for a few minutes before I get started on my meal, and it gives a few minutes for people to come in. If you haven't seen my live streams before, I smoke. I have one of those, and that's kind of when I get done with one, when I start. Well, my sound meter is saying it's all the way up, and I'm getting really good, feedback with it, so. And I turned my volume up on my tablet for a second, and it was fine. Give me just a second. I'm going to reconnect my camera in a different way and see if that helps. Okay? Is that any better for sound? Any better? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Tonight I am making Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy and asparagus. And it's homemade Salisbury steak. It's not any of the frozen patties. It's really easy to make. And I'd say after I get started from start to finish, 30, 45 minutes. Okay. My mom's messaging me on Messenger here. Um, well, she said it was better. I don't know. I actually have, instead of wireless connection for my camera, I'm actually using a wired connection. So, but I have, hold on. Okay, Google, turn on the living room lights, please. I have a little bit better lighting there. Hey, Rosanna, how are you? So, yesterday, um, I kind of made an oopsie. I don't know how it happened. I don't know when it happened, but I broke our big TV. Yes, the guy that's helps everybody with tech and everything else broke a TV. I was moving stuff around in the living room, making our living room rearranged different because we're gonna have the Super Bowl here and everything like that. You know, a little party here and stuff. And um, I was mounting it to the wall in a different way. I don't have, I I use a different mounting method than people normally use. But I took it down, put the backing on it and everything, hung it up on the wall. Hadn't turned it on, had moved the furniture around, got everything. I go to turn the TV on, and there's black streaks through it. So we went out today and got a different TV, bigger TV. So it's going to be better anyway, and it's going to be delivered tomorrow. Yes, Rosanna, I'm doing really good. But this is, I think, the first opportunity my mom's had to sit on a live stream of mine. Um, this is my kitchen for now. Sometime this spring or summer, once we get enough saved up, we're going to remodel our whole house. This kitchen is going to change. It's going to be totally different because this takes a lot of. I mean, you see how big this kitchen is. You know, this is my walking space, and um, I mean it's huge, huge, huge kitchen. So um, I'm going to remodel things, make things so that I mean the kitchen's going to end up being bigger, but we're going to have more space for the living room as well because this counter cuts off from the living room and kind of closes things up a lot. So, but I like the space. I like how I have easy access, you know, here and here and stuff. So many kitchens are so closed off and everything. But I actually have less time between what I'm doing and what you guys see. I'm setting up, or I've pretty much set up most of my computer so that it's running super fast and we have a great connection now. So, okay, yeah, try popping back in or refreshing it, Allie, and see if that helps because um, everybody else is saying the volume's fine. I literally have like 2 seconds between the time I'm doing something to the time I'm seeing it on my tablet. So, and it's running in great quality. If you guys, yeah, I mean, I've never run this good of a live stream, and I'm not seeing any lag or anything. Is anybody seeing any lag? If so, I think I'm going to kind of keep this set up for future use. Good. That's what I've always wanted to do. Perfect. That's what I like to hear. Okay. So I those of you that I've talked in my previous live streams in the past 3 months know that I've been working my butt off, 45, 50 hours a week, if not more sometimes. Oh, awesome! You figured it out. Everybody, say hello to my mother. That's Cindy Everett. Um, First time in one of my live streams, and she gets to see how I can cook. I know she knows that I'm a good cook. But I don't think she's ever really seen me cook in my kitchen and everything like that. So, um, yeah. But anyway, um, I've been working my butt off for the past 3 months, and I enjoyed working at the place I work for the months that I did. Um, but last week, well, one of my things that I do at that store or at that place is I do the ordering for the truck and inventory and things like that. I lift a lot of heavy stuff. I have one of the most important jobs in the store, but I wasn't getting paid enough, and I wasn't getting recognition through the store the way I should have. We had a new owner come in at the beginning of the year. He ended up making a lot of changes, and there were so many changes, so much going on. Um, and through everything, last week I ended up straining my back. Um, I've been having problems. I've been having problems with my side and hips and ligaments. Finally, my back last week, I pulled a muscle so bad I could hardly move. I woke up one morning and I rolled out of bed and just knelt on the side of the bed because it hurt so bad. I couldn't do anything. Well, I took a few days off work. Um, I ended up um, going to the hospital. It was so bad because uh, I couldn't handle that pain anymore, and they told me it was a back sprain. I strained one of my muscles in my back. He gave me several days off of work, and in that time, I had a lot of time to really sit down and think about everything that was going on, whether it was worth it or not. And I put in my resignation because of it. So I don't work for fast food anymore. um, I went out the same day I put in my resignation and got a new job. And now I don't have to deal with the heavy lifting, the being feel the feeling like I'm not doing enough. Because everybody's getting on my case. Uh, I learned every position in the restaurant. Every position in the restaurant. Nobody cared. I didn't get paid enough for what I was doing. So now I'm going to be able to sit in a chair, talk on the phone, and get people to buy stuff from me. And it's going to end up being better pay, better hours. And I know about this company because um, when I met Ashley, she was actually working for this company, worked for them for like 3 years, her and her sister both. And I know it's a good job. If you can get people to buy stuff, you're gonna make money, and they're gonna want you to work, and they'll recognize you for it. There's bonuses. There's after so long. There's like insurance type coverage and things like that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this new job. I start my training Monday, and in the meantime, I mean, I am going to be able to keep one of these chef's coats, which is awesome. Because I may be able to keep all my, you know, but anyway, I gotta get started on dinner. Wash my hands real quick. Like I said, I'm starting a really late dinner. I didn't mean to have to. I gotta go get a hand towel real quick. But it's not a dinner that really takes all that long to cook. So, Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy and asparagus. I've got about 2 pounds of hamburger in my bowl, and it's just regular ground beef. I don't use anything fancy. A lot of people are big on the lean and stuff like that. Something like this, if you're making a gravy with it, you want the stuff that's a higher fat percentage. And like things like hamburgers and things like that, you want a higher fat percentage in your hamburger, in your ground beef, because that helps to keep the hamburger really juicy and moist. So, um, no, that's good. The way I do this is I set it up very similar to how like you would make meatloaf. You make it more uh, firm though. You don't put like the ketchup in and stuff like that because that really juices it up. The gravy is going to be the moistening object in this. But I am going to put an egg in because eggs help to bind the meat and all the ingredients. I'm going to put a little bit of Italian seasoning in. Not too much. No, sorry, not Italian. Breadcrumbs. Italian breadcrumbs. Um, got some pepper in there. Got some salt. Salt brings out the flavor of everything. So, if you're watching your sodium intake, you know, be careful. You know, however much you like. I like lots of salt. I need to get my little bowl and put salt in it. I'll put a little bit more pepper in there. Some garlic powder. I use some just general seasonings. If you don't like, actually, I forgot. We actually got minced garlic too. I don't normally get minced garlic, but Ashley picked it up one day. Hey, Shayna, how are you doing, hon? I'm gonna put some minced garlic in there because it adds real good flavor to it. I can't add onion. I cannot cook with onion in this house because Ashley is severely allergic to onion, so that limits some things. But I can use onion powder, so I like to use lots of onion powder. And that's pretty much it for the meat, the ingredients. And take your hand in there. You know, hands are nice and clean. Get in there and really work that around. That minced garlic smells so good. And garlic is good for you, good for your gut. just get in there and really work it around real good. I didn't want to add too much. Okay, it is onion, but onion powder and like garlic powder and stuff like the powders. What she's allergic to, what we found is like the some chemical in the juice. So whole onions, minced onions, onion chips, flakes, things like that, she can't have. But when it's like milled down like this, she can have it because it doesn't have the juices in it. Okay, so now I'm not going to wash my hand because I still have to use it. I'm going to turn my stove on, medium to medium high. Being careful not to touch anything with this hand. I'm going to use a pinch of olive oil in the bottom. And that is the last of my olive oil. And I'm going to let that heat up to get nice and hot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I have this cutting board here. I'm going to wipe down a little bit. I'm going to make, you're not, you're fine. Okay, I'm going to make kind of smaller patties, but it's very similar. You just make them round, whatever shape you want. When you buy them frozen in the store, they're like oval shape, and you could do that if you wanted. Make them rather thin. Okay. Make them very thin, because when you do this, when you cook these, they're going to bunch up. They're going to, basically, they're going to puff up on you and get thicker. So I want them kind of rather thin, maybe a 1/4 inch. You can have a few of them, you know, these are always good, you know, with the gravy the next day and stuff like that.
Kat, do you heal when you get elimination?
Yeah, she does. She loves those blooming onions.
Do you heal when you get elimination? Well, that's definitely trapped out here. So you better hope that there's no fall danger.
Oh, those things are amazing. Now, if you wanted to, you know, do this quicker and or simpler, or yeah, I guess that, the way you could call it is you could take these if you wanted to get rid of all the fat and, you know, be extremely healthy. If you have like an indoor grill like a George Foreman, you could actually take these patties and cook them on the George Foreman. You could easily get a packet of brown gravy from the store and fix that up according to the package directions. Make it a little thin. I'm going to make a mushroom gravy, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to, what you would want to do if you wanted the mushroom gravy is add mushrooms to the brown gravy, like diced, chopped up mushrooms. And then what you do is you take these patties after they're cooked, put them in a baking dish, take that brown gravy and mushrooms, and pour it over the Salisbury steak, and then bake it in the oven for a little bit. I'm going to do this the actual homemade way, homemade gravy and everything, so you'll get to see how that's done.
Yeah, you guys went there.
I'm just going to add the rest of this to this one. Okay, so this one's already in my hand. My pan is preheated. It's nice and hot. We're kind of smoking a little bit from the oil, which is good. You don't want it smoking too bad. So I'm just gonna
actually put for that trap.
take these. Hear that sizzle? That's what you want. When you rinse your hands from doing something like that, you want hot water. And coming right out of the tap, because it's like 20 something degrees outside, it's a little cold. That if you don't like slimy, you can have somebody else do it. So, in the meantime, I'm going to grab out my baking dish. Find it in this. There we go. I just have a 9 by 13 baking dish, casserole dish, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to get a spatula. Turn that up a little bit. You want a little sear, just like you're making a good hamburger.
Give me my help back.
Yeah, if you don't have hot water, lots of soap. Or a concentrated degreaser. Turn my fan on here. So yeah, all I'm having to do is cook these up. In the meantime, we went to Aldi's today and got mushrooms, this packet of white mushrooms for 89 cents a package, which is a really good deal actually. Actually, I'll set these over here. Got my other cutting board. Looks like my knives are going to need a good sharpening. My blade is starting to get a few little rust spots on it. That's when you know it's time for a good sharpening. Okay. Now when these hamburgers are done, or these patties I should say are done, all you're going to do is take them out. You don't want them like all the way done. A little pink is fine. Because you're going to bake them in the oven for a little bit. So they'll finish cooking along with that gravy as well. They do. They shrink up a lot. So we bought 3 packages, but 1 package is enough for a mushroom gravy because you chop them up so finely, and you want to just gently rinse them off. No heavy scrubbing or anything on these. Because I don't know if any of you have bought mushrooms and taken them out of the package, but you get things like that, which is dirt and fertilizer still on them. So you want to rinse that off. Some people say it gives mushrooms flavor and character, but you know. Kind of run them through your hands, run your thumbs around them. That way you're not breaking them up and stuff like that. Yeah. I think I got all of them. Now, all I'm going to do is chop these things up. I want to chop them up kind of fine. I'm slicing them right now, but I'm going to Now I'm just going to get a really rough cut on these things. I have a bigger knife, but I like this one. I have a lot of control with this knife. Okay, so I got some bigger pieces, some smaller pieces, you know, really good mushroom. Okay. And I'm not draining the grease out of this that comes out because that's going to be used for the gravy.
Yeah, yeah, sure you will do that. Oh. Did someone start doing purple face and dye so I can get my
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I insert it? Oh.
Yeah, just plain. I love mushrooms. Now I'm about halfway through my patties. Takes about 6 minutes for my oven to warm up. I'm going to turn it on 350. Oh yeah, that mushrooms dipped in ranch gravy. That, I mean, any vegetable dipped in ranch gravy is amazing.
Wait, you can't break the ones that are on the floor. You can't break the ones that are on the floor. Soon that top does die. Did someone start at purple face and die?
I think February 3rd. I've got to go find out what she's talking about. Hold on. What are you talking about?
Come in here, Nick.
Okay, I found out.
Oh, great.
Oh, you have a good evening, Shanna. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up for me if you could. Yeah, since she had her bypass, she's lost a ton of weight. But every so often, once you get down, well, most people that have had bypass, we were told that once you get down to a certain weight, there's going to be a weight that you cannot lose weight at after that. But sometimes you get in these slumps, and you can't lose weight. But sometimes doing like an extreme keto or like a liquid diet will help jumpstart your weight loss again. It'll get your body back into the regimen of losing weight. And it takes like a week of being on that liquid diet. and it's not fun. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that day. She's doing it that day because it's the day after the Super Bowl, and that gives her reason to be able to sit and eat and not have to worry. Which is, I mean, that's good. Thank you, Shanna. I appreciate it. You have a good night, okay? So with this setup, I may, like when I do my cooking chats, I may go back to how I used to. If this is running really good, like this, I may go back to how I was with 2 cameras. And Mom, if you don't know, I mean, if you haven't gone back to see any of my other videos or anything like that, um, there was a point where I had set up multiple camera views, and one of them was here so that you could see what I was cooking and how it was looking as it was cooking and stuff like that. It was really cool. And I may end up going back to that if... Yeah, I'm munching on mushroom chips. Don't judge me. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get ready for my gravy. So I can find my... There we go. Okay, so best way to make gravy, a lot of people use flour, and that's really good to do. But it's really hard a lot of times to integrate all that flour. What I do is I like to start my mixture with the flour, and I take a little bit of cornstarch. It doesn't take much, maybe a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. I'm going to add a little bit more because I'm going to make a lot of gravy. And then you add cold water to this and mix it up. But I'll show you that here in a minute. Okay, so the cutting board is dirty. So I got all my patties in this deal here. Now I'm going to use all this gravy. It's got all of the little, hamburger crumbs and stuff like that, all the little bits in there. I'm going to actually turn this down a little bit, take my pan off of the heat for a little bit. I want to get my whisk out. Okay. And when you make gravy like this, you want to be ready. You want to have everything right next to you, because if you don't, there's a really high risk of burning something or the gravy not setting the way it should. So just a little bit of cornstarch and water. mixed up really well. And what this is going to do, I don't have any beef broth. I forgot to pick some up because I didn't realize I was going to make this. Beef broth, you know how when you make country gravy or white gravy, you put milk in it? Brown gravy, you use beef broth. You can use water. Perfectly fine. But I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to make quite a bit. So I'm going to use all this grease, or oil, I should say, because it's oil. I'm going to take, you want to make what's called a roux. And a roux is a flour and oil mixture. Flour and butter, things like that. It sets up into a paste, and then you take that paste and it ends up firming down into a gravy after you add your broth or water or anything like that. So what I want to do is I want to take the amount of flour about equal to the amount of oil that's in my pan. You want basically a one-in-one experience here with your ingredients. And you want to mix that up really well. Okay? I don't know how well you can see that or not, but that's browning up. Okay, and you're getting all those bits, and they're really good. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more flour, but I want to make sure all this is mixed up first. All those bits are off of the bottom of the pan. Add a little bit more flour. Because I want this to become not really a solid, but I don't want it to be liquid anymore. And this is where people have the problem with the flour and stuff like that, mixing everything together. Okay, so this isn't as, it's starting to come together, I should say. So I probably had about a half a cup of oil in there. And I'm going to let this cook like this for a little bit because I want this to brown up. I want it to get darker. Okay, I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit actually. And the more you cook it, it's going to set up. It's going to get thicker and thicker. You want this to bubble really good. Add a little bit more flour. Once you add your broth and stuff, that's when you can't add any more flour. But when you're combining the oil and flour together, you're fine. It'll mix really well. There we go. So it's starting to get the consistency of like a paste, and that's what I want. Make sure everything's mixed up really well. Bubbling nicely. You guys can't see this, but like in the middle of the pan, when I take my whisk around, it doesn't like immediately go back to cover that bottom of the pan. Okay, so now my cornstarch and water mixture. And I'm going to take a little bit more water. And I'm going to add that in. Get more water. And I'm using cold water because I've found that when you're making gravy, you want a cold ingredient to add in because it lowers the temperature and you have more time to be able to stir it and mix it and get it so that it's actually setting together. And now I'm going to add some salt. You gotta have salt in your gravy. Now I'm going to make this a little bit runny because I am putting it in the oven, and I'm actually also adding the mushrooms. But that right there is a good brown gravy. I don't know how well you can see that. More salt. Lots more salt. My blood pressure has been fine all my life. And it was fine even when I went to the hospital. It was like great range. So I'm not worried about, and Ashley's, she don't have to worry about hers either. So salt makes gravy really good. Okay. Okay, so now yeah, I will. I'm going to take my mushrooms. I'm just going to toss them in there. Mix that up. I'm gonna let that cook
You didn't pay
with the
us,
mushrooms
right?
in there for a couple minutes. That way the mushrooms can dissolve down. Yeah, I've got several videos that have that view. And I probably will end up doing that again. It's just I haven't been on here in so long.
Oh wow! Why you have actually
And this is what it looks like with the mushrooms in it.
come here, try.
I can't really see it. Yeah, you can. That's really good. Oh, hey, Monica. Long time no see. How are you?
Oh, great. You did combo please.
I'm going to add a little bit of pepper to this as well.
Yeah, you didn't expect me to wait for that, going around like that, did you? Why do you put all these traps down here? You do a bar where goats cannot enter.
Okay. Turn it off. Now what I'm going to do is I've got all my patties sitting in my dish. I'm going to actually kind of move them off to the side. My bubbling gravy here. I'm going to pour some at the bottom. Make a mess on the stove, but oh well. And I'm going to take those patties, set them back down in there.
Oh,
I want to cover
yeah. Oh,
everything with this gravy. And then I got one extra that didn't fit all on the bottom. You guys can see how that looks. I want to toss it in the oven. And that's going to cook, 15, 20 minutes. I'm making homemade Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy and asparagus. Now, I've never gotten this asparagus before. Normally it comes in bunches and stuff like that. This says I can cook this in this bag. Do you think I should try it in the bag like they recommend, hon? No? Okay. Okay, so I'll show you how I normally make my asparagus. I don't have any more olive oil. I didn't realize I was running low, so I'm going to use butter. It's fine to use butter. I mean, it doesn't give as much flavor as olive oil does, but it works in a pinch. Okay, so I'm going to turn my stove back up.
That's why that's why I should only look at it.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't roast it. I saute it. So this is how I do my asparagus. I think one bag will be enough. You always want to cut off the bottom third of your asparagus stalks.
Yeah,
Okay, because the bottom, it it never tastes right. I mean, you got the discoloration and stuff, which it's not a all the way ripe stalk,
oh,
and it's best to just get rid of all the bottom. Besides, the top part's the best anyway. Yeah, we have lots of wet snow. So I'm gonna take
okay, you got your right.
butter, well, margarine, but you know,
Kinda good.
I'm gonna take a good healthy swath of it in there.
I fuck.
Yeah, we actually right now it is. Yep, 34 to 32 degrees. It's right at the freezing point. So, yeah, I think this will be enough with all the Salisbury steaks we have. So, got the butter in here. I like to add, I cook a lot with garlic powder and onion powder. I add my seasonings right to the butter.
Chris, stop hiding like a little cow. Oh, I think it's right
Empty?
up there.
Then I take, a handful, I just lay it out in there. However much will fit in that pan.
Hey, nice shield.
Some of it ends up coming out. I like to take a pair of tongs. So I can turn them around and mix them. And that will cook. And you'll see my little trick when it's done, when I know it's done.
You tried crap before. Shit. Hello. Hey. Crap.
These thinner stalks cook really quick, but I like to cook them until they have some color to them, like browned up a little bit.
I can't go that way. Okay. Ooh. That lucky toe shot.
Yeah, Monica. The way I did it was the way I like to do things sometimes, and It's a little more complicated, takes a little longer, but it ends up so much better. Basically, to make Salisbury steak, you take a hamburger patty, flatten it out really thin, and cook it up, and then take some brown gravy from a packet, make it up real thin, toss it in a pan, put it in the oven. Really simple, really quick, but not as flavorful. The asparagus I normally get, like I said, we got this at Aldi's, which is different from what I normally get. I normally go to Walmart, and the stalks are thicker. They're normally, an eighth of an inch thick, but these are really thin stalks, so I don't have to cook them as long. Yeah, basically, like I said, you're making a hamburger patty. What?
Nothing.
What?
Yeah.
Dinner's about done.
Yeah, what's hard? Yeah.
Anyway. Oh, okay. Okay. So the way I make my asparagus, set this off to the side. You can easily and very clearly see this is done. That's not done. They get a much brighter sheen to them, almost like a green bean. Yes, Monica, I am. And so good.
I'm at the border. Boy, you better not knock my shit down.
And by the time these are done, that'll be done. Give it about 10 minutes and our dinner will be done. Yeah, Aldi's produce is okay. I mean, I don't see any drastic difference in price or anything. Aldi's is supposed to be a lot cheaper and everything, but yeah, you can see how limp this is, but it's not necessarily that it's limp. It's soft. It's moist. It's really good. Very flavorful. That stock wasn't done. Excuse me on that, guys. No.
You do this drop on me?
There's plenty. Relax.
What are you doing? Nothing for this entire mess. Go back tight and slide back down. I cannot see. It's basically closet.
That is done. Okay. And a little bit more of the butter mixture. This is going to finish off my little container here.
Okay, there where you are. There where you are. No, 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 no. Hey, guys, stop. Breaking my track.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Good. I think that's about done.
I gotta say something about this. I haven't seen one of this during this time. I'm Billy, trying to get rich. I'm just trying to get rich. I'm not sure. Not yet. Great this. There we go. Now we go down. I think Trent's the one that started today. I can't end it. And I'm not the one that did it. Let's see whoever goes next.
That is really good. That is really good gravy.
And
Oh, not too often. Just
okay, I was the one that
not like I was. This is the second one I've done in a month. I don't know.
Ow! I'm fine up here after.
It's just I've been so busy with my old job that I haven't had time. So I'll clean this off later. I'm just gonna set it down here. I don't think we're going to end up getting that asparagus anymore. We'll go to Walmart for it. The thicker stalks cook better. Like if I wanted to grill these, I couldn't. They'd fall through the grates. Okay. So I'm gonna take lots and lots of gravy on these. So good. And then now you can do anything. You can do mashed potatoes as well, things like that. But this is, like I said, really late and everything. So I'm just doing a side and our main course. But look at that. That is really good. It took a little longer than I thought it would, but I mean, just, I mean, give me. This one's Ashley's. She loves asparagus and everything, so I'm going to give her more of that. But she wants to come in and get her food. She can start eating. Andrew. No, don't hang on. Off your Xbox. Time to eat.
Here's my food, boy. Here's my food. This is your food. Okay. Do you need a fork? Thank you.
So guys, an hour and a half, not even, no, about an hour, because I started about an hour ago. Actually cooking. But yeah, homemade Salisbury steak, mushroom gravy, and asparagus. You can see the hamburger is completely done and very steamy. You can see the steam just, but very, very good. Just how Salisbury steak should taste. I appreciate it, each and every one of you coming in. I'm going to try to do, live streams here and there when I can, but I'm going to be working evening shifts, so I don't know if I'll be able to do it any more than just on the weekends. I don't start till Monday, so I may even do one or two more here and there. But I gotta get going. I've got to eat me some of this dinner. Where'd my mouse go? Oh, it's way over there. Hold on a second, guys. So, I am. I decided to put in my resignation at Chick-fil-A because I wasn't being paid for all the stress and physical hardship I was enduring. I wasn't getting what I needed to. Okay. Have a good night, Mom. I'll talk to you on Messenger or whatever. But, so yeah, I'm working at a better job, something that Ashley was doing when I met her. She loved the job. I had to quit for personal reasons, but, it had nothing to do with the job. It was family-oriented type stuff. But I'm going to enjoy it. I make lots of good money, not have to come home and be so tired and stressed out. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. But I got to get going. Like I said, I got to eat, guys. I mean, this is just, I'm smelling this stuff and
Hey, don't eat in front of the camera.
so good. It's telemarketing type work. Sitting on a phone all day, talking to people, being told no a lot, but but I got to get going. Love you guys. I know all of you are subscribed to me in here, but if you're not, subscribe to me, hit that thumbs up, and ring the bell for me. And I will see you guys next time. All right? Bye.